sages teach us that our Batei Mikdash, our temples, were destroyed not simply as part of a series of events involving international politics, but rather by divine decision. One passage in the Talmud relates that the first temple, the first Beis HaMikdash, was destroyed because of sins including Gili Arayos, Shvichus Damim, and Avodah Zarah, idolatry, adultery, and murder. Another passage teaches that the second Beis HaMikdash, the second temple, was destroyed because of sinas chinam, because of baseless hatred. These lessons are very important because they ground our understanding of our history in a moral theme, with the understanding that our conduct can result in destruction as well as reward. They give us goals in terms of our own improvement and teach us how we can bring back the Batei Mikdash. So they're very important. However, it has been pointed out that these ideas also involve great risk. Rabbi Shlomo Kluger was the Rav of Brody. His grandson was also named Rabbi Shlomo Kluger. His grandson lost his parents at a young age. And in his eulogy for the second of them to pass on, he pointed out the risks involved in assigning blame for the destruction of the two temples and for catastrophes in general. He talked about a Gemara in Gittin Daf Nun Zayin, which asks why the city of Kfar Sachnia was destroyed. Kfar Sachnia had a large and apparently righteous community back in the first century of the Common Era. After Yerushalayim was destroyed, the city of Kfar Sachnia was destroyed as well by the Romans. And the Gemara asks, how could they fall? They were so righteous and wonderful. And it gives a perplexing answer. The Gemara says that they were destroyed because they did not grieve for Yerushalayim. When Yerushalayim was destroyed, they apparently were not upset. And that's a very difficult answer to understand. How could it be that any Jewish population, let alone a great righteous population, would not grieve for the loss of Yerushalayim? Rabbi Kluger blames it on these lessons of our sages in which we learn about the sins that led to the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. He said, if a person suffers a great loss personally, it's appropriate and wonderful if a person is able to use that as an opportunity to learn, to ask, well, did I earn this somehow? Is there something I was doing wrong? Is there something I can improve? However, if a person sees the destruction that afflicts somebody else, if a person sees somebody else's pain and says, well, it's because they did X, and therefore ceases to empathize, ceases to feel that pain that the other is feeling, ceases to see them as a human being, then that's a very terrible situation. And then he says that's what happens with Kfar Sachnia. Kfar Sachnia sees the destruction of Yerushalayim, but they understand the guilt involved. They understand the ideas that the Gemara would report as having been the catalysts for the destruction of Yerushalayim, and therefore they cease to feel the pain of Yerushalayim. It's an important point that Rabbi Shlomo Kluger makes. When we see the pain that others experience, it's inappropriate for us to start explaining, well, it happened because of this, it happened because of that. It's more important for us to see them as human beings, to see them as people who are suffering, and to ask how we can help improve the situation. This also is an important lesson of the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. Let us learn the lessons of those passages of the Talmud which say the first temple was destroyed for one reason, the second temple was destroyed for another reason, but let us never cease to see those individuals, those families, those communities as the human beings that they were, and to feel the pain involved in their loss as well.